First Contact and Deception. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observatory window of Earth's first deep space station, Sentinel-1, watching the approaching alien vessel. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had finally made contact. The ship's sleek, crystalline design spoke of advanced technology far beyond Earth's current capabilities. What started as celebration quickly turned to suspicion. The archivists, as they called themselves, came bearing warnings about the dangerous species that populated the galaxy. They offered protection, guidance, and carefully controlled technological advancement. Earth's governments, eager for galactic acceptance, agreed to their terms. But Chen wasn't convinced. The mathematical patterns in their technology felt familiar, too familiar. After months of analysis, she discovered the truth. The archivists had been secretly monitoring Earth for centuries, subtly influencing human technological development to keep it contained and controlled. The evidence was hidden in plain sight. Their protective orbital platforms were actually sophisticated containment systems. Their guidance was carefully designed to prevent humanity from developing certain key technologies. Every gift came with hidden strings attached. Chen took her findings to Admiral James Rodriguez, her mentor and the head of Earth's Space Defense Force. In his secure bunker deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, they reviewed the data. The archivists weren't independent operators. They were agents of the Galactic Council, a confederation of advanced species that saw humanity as a potential threat. Look at these energy signatures. Chen pointed to the holographic display. They match perfectly with theoretical models we developed independently. They're not sharing new technology. They're feeding us our own discoveries back to us, modified to prevent certain applications. Rodriguez studied the data, his expression darkening. They're afraid of us, he realized. Not what we are, but what we could become. The truth was staggering. Humanity's rapid technological advancement, their ability to adapt and innovate, their tendency to unite in the face of external threats, these qualities made them dangerous in the Council's eyes. Better to control them early, guide their development along acceptable paths, than risk them becoming a true rival. Chen and Rodriguez knew they couldn't reveal this truth immediately. It would cause panic and potentially provoke the very intervention they hoped to avoid. Instead, they began a careful plan of their own. While maintaining cordial relations with the archivists, Earth would secretly prepare for independence. Over the next 2 years, they established hidden research facilities across the solar system. The best minds on Earth were quietly recruited, working to develop technologies the archivists had subtly steered them away from. Quantum computing, gravitational manipulation, consciousness transfer, fields that had always seemed just out of reach, suddenly progressed rapidly once they understood what was being suppressed. The archivists suspected nothing. Their own prejudices worked against them. They couldn't imagine that a primitive species could see through their deception. They continued their careful manipulation, never realizing that each piece of technology they shared was being studied not just for its intended use, but for the principles it revealed about what they were trying to hide. Chen watched another archivist ship dock at Sentinel-1. Soon, they would discover that humanity wasn't the easily controlled species they had hoped for. But for now, she smiled politely through another condescending lecture about the dangers of unsupervised technological advancement, all while humanity prepared for the day they would break free from their would-be controllers. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the foundations of galactic society. Humanity had been underestimated for the last time. Rising tensions. Deep within the asteroid belt, inside an unmarked facility carved into a metallic asteroid, Dr. Maya Patel watched her life's work take shape. The prototype quantum drive core pulsed with a soft blue light, defying everything the archivists had taught about the limitations of human technology. Power output holding steady at 300% above theoretical limits, her assistant announced. Maya allowed herself a small smile. The archivists had been very clear about the impossibility of quantum gravitational fusion. They'd provided extensive proofs of why it couldn't work. proofs that had only served to show humanity exactly where to look for breakthroughs. A comm channel opened, displaying Admiral Chen's holographic form. "Doctor, how goes our impossible project?" "See for yourself," Maya gestured to the drive core. "We've achieved stable quantum coherence across gravitational fields. The archivists' carefully constructed limitations were based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how humans approach physical laws. They think in absolutes." Chen nodded. "We think in possibilities." The conversation was interrupted by an urgent alert. An archivist ship had deviated from its usual patrol route, heading toward the outer asteroid belt. Maya's team quickly initiated shutdown procedures, but Chen raised her hand. "No, let them come closer. It's time to test our other breakthrough." At Chen's command, quantum fields shifted around the facility. The technology, reverse-engineered from studying the very containment systems meant to keep Earth isolated, bent space itself around the asteroid. To any observer, there was nothing there but empty space and normal background radiation. The archivist ship passed within 10,000 kilometers, its sensors probing the asteroid field. Inside the facility, Maya and her team watched tensely as their deception was put to the ultimate test. Minutes passed like hours until finally the ship adjusted course and returned to its regular patrol route. They saw nothing. Maya breathed. The quantum camouflage worked perfectly. As expected, Chen's expression was grim. "But we're running out of time. The Council is growing suspicious of our rapid adaptation of their approved technologies. Rodriguez estimates we have months at most before they realize something's wrong." Maya turned to her primary display, bringing up the status of Project Prometheus. Across the solar system, hidden shipyards were bringing humanity's real fleet to life. Not the small patrol craft the archivists allowed them to build, but true warships incorporating every breakthrough they'd achieved. The crown jewel was the TNS Challenger, humanity's first true battleship. Nearly complete, it represented everything the Council feared about human potential. Its quantum drive core could generate more power than entire archivist fleets. Its gravitational weapons could tear apart space itself. Most importantly, its very existence proved that humanity could not be contained. "The Challenger will be ready in 6 weeks, Maya reported. "The rest of the fleet follows 2 weeks after that. But Chen, they're not going to wait that long. I've been analyzing the archivists' communication patterns. They're preparing something big." Chen's hologram nodded grimly. "We know. The Council has called an emergency session. They're voting on whether to quarantine Earth completely, cut us off from all interstellar travel and communication. They're finally realizing their mistake in giving us any technology at all. They'll need to deploy their containment fleet to establish the quarantine," Maya mused. "That could be our opportunity. If they commit their forces to the containment action, then we strike first," Chen finished. "Show them exactly what humanity can do when pushed into a corner." She paused, studying the quantum drive core. "How many of our ships can you have ready in 4 weeks?" Maya quickly calculated. "If we divert all resources and run 3 shifts, maybe 60% of the fleet. It won't be pretty, and some systems will need field calibration, but they'll fight. Make it happen. I'll inform Rodriguez that the timetable has moved up." Chen's hologram flickered. The Council thought they could keep humanity in a cage. Time to show them that all they did was give us the tools to break free. As the hologram faded, Maya turned back to her work with renewed urgency. Somewhere above them, the Council was deciding humanity's fate, never suspecting that humanity had already decided it for themselves. The coming weeks would change the galaxy forever, assuming they could get everything ready in time. The countdown to confrontation had begun. The Council's ultimatum. The Galactic Council's chamber was a marvel of engineering, a vast amphitheater suspended in space, its transparent walls offering a view of the galaxy they claimed to govern. Today, those walls were darkened, and the chamber hummed with tension as the Emergency Convention on Human Containment entered its 3rd day. High Counselor Vexera of the Archivists stood at the central podium, their crystalline form refracting light in patterns that conveyed deep concern. The humans have progressed far too rapidly. Our careful guidance has failed to curtail their dangerous innovative tendencies. They're already adapting our approved technologies in ways we never anticipated. The council members murmured among themselves. Representative Krithak of the militant Varaki Confederation rose, their armored carapace clicking softly. Then we must act now, before they progress further. The containment protocols were a mistake. They should have been fully subjugated upon first contact. On Earth, Admiral Rodriguez watched the transmission with growing anger. The Council hadn't bothered to encrypt their session. They didn't consider humans capable of intercepting their quantum communications. Their arrogance would be their undoing. Status report, he commanded, and holograms sprang to life around him. Maya's team had worked miracles. The fleet was nearly ready, hidden in quantum bubbles throughout the solar system. The Challenger, their flagship, had completed its first series of tests, exceeding every expectation. A priority alert flashed across his displays. The Council had reached a decision. The chamber's darkness lifted, and High Counselor Vexera addressed the assembled representatives. The motion for immediate containment has passed. The human species has demonstrated insufficient stability for continued galactic integration. A quarantine fleet will deploy within one planetary rotation to establish a permanent containment field around their solar system. Rodriguez's comm system chimed. Sir, Chen's voice was tight with controlled urgency. The Council's fleet is already moving. Long-range sensors show over 300 ships entering formation. They're not waiting for the official deployment order. Of course not. Rodriguez's smile was grim. They'd finally realized their mistake. They're afraid. He opened a secure channel to all hidden facilities. All units, initiate Operation Daybreak. This is not a drill. Across the solar system, humanity's real fleet began powering up. In her asteroid base, Maya watched as the quantum drive cores she'd helped design hummed to life, their power signatures masked by the very containment technology the archivists had used against Earth. The Council's transmission continued, unaware of the activity in their target system. To the human leadership, Vexera announced, their tone condescending, your species will be confined to your solar system until such time as you demonstrate sufficient maturity for limited galactic integration. Resistance will result in more severe restrictions. This is not a negotiation. Rodriguez opened a direct channel to the Council chamber, surprising them with humanity's ability to breach their secure communications. You're right, High Counselor. This isn't a negotiation. Warning alerts flashed across the Council's displays as hundreds of unknown ships suddenly appeared throughout Earth's solar system. Ships that shouldn't exist, powered by technology the humans shouldn't have been able to develop. This, Rodriguez continued, as the Challenger decloaked directly in front of the Council's approaching fleet, is a declaration of independence. The Council chamber erupted in chaos. Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with alarm patterns. Impossible. Their containment protocols were reversed engineered the moment you deployed them, Rodriguez finished. You gave us the tools to study your technology, then assumed we'd only use them the way you instructed. For an advanced civilization, you understand remarkably little about human nature. Krithak surged forward. You dare threaten this council? Our fleet will. Your fleet, Rodriguez interrupted, is about to learn why containing humanity was always impossible. We don't accept limitations. We don't stop at boundaries. And we certainly don't submit to those who try to cage us. The first shots of the battle were moments away. Humanity's hidden fleet versus the Council's containment armada. The galaxy was about to learn just how far humans had come, and how badly the Council had miscalculated. Operation Daybreak. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted in light as 200 human vessels dropped their quantum camouflage simultaneously. The Challenger led the formation, its sleek hull gleaming with the same crystalline technology the archivists had thought themselves masters of. Admiral Chen stood on the Challenger's bridge, watching the Council's containment fleet falter in confusion. Their neat formation scattered as sensors registered the impossible. Human ships with power signatures that rivaled their most advanced dreadnoughts. They're broadcasting demands for our immediate surrender, Lieutenant Santos reported from communications, trying to hide a smile. They're still convinced this must be some sort of trick. Let's disabuse them of that notion, Chen ordered. All ships, execute pattern Prometheus. The human fleet moved with precision that stunned the Council observers. Ships linked their quantum fields in ways the archivists had deemed theoretically impossible, creating cascading reality distortions that rippled through space itself. The Council fleet fired first, a barrage of conventional energy weapons that dissipated harmlessly against the humans' gravitational shields. The return fire was anything but conventional. The Challenger's main weapon, dubbed the Reality Lance by its engineers, tore through the fabric of space-time. Council ships found their carefully calculated positions meant nothing as space itself twisted around them. Entire squadrons of their ships were pulled into gravitational knots, their advanced hulls crushed by forces they'd never imagined humans could control. Council Command is ordering a full retreat, Santos announced. Their rear squadrons are already jumping out of the system. But the Council's containment fleet was trapped between the human forces and the quantum barrier humanity had secretly erected behind them, using the Council's own containment technology against them. On the Council station, panic spread as the battle's feed played out. Impossible. Vexera's crystalline form pulsed with patterns of fear and disbelief. Their understanding of quantum mechanics was deliberately limited. These technologies should be beyond them. Rodriguez's voice cut through their chaos. You limited our knowledge, but not our imagination. Every restriction you placed on us became a challenge to overcome. Every technology you carefully controlled became a puzzle to solve. You never understood that humans don't accept arbitrary limitations. We break through them. The battle wasn't even close. Council ships, designed to overwhelm primitive human vessels, found themselves outmaneuvered and outgunned at every turn. The Challenger alone disabled 30 ships in the first 10 minutes, its quantum weapons bypassing their most advanced defenses. Admiral, Maya's voice came through on a secure channel. The Council's flagship is attempting to generate a mass evacuation portal. If they succeed, half their fleet could escape at once. Chen smiled. Let them try. Show them what else we learned from studying their containment fields. The Council flagship's portal flickered into existence and immediately collapsed as human ships projected interfering quantum fields. The Council forces were trapped, their most advanced technology countered by the very species they tried to keep contained. Attention Council vessels. Chen broadcast on all frequencies. Your containment fleet is neutralized. You have two choices. Power down your weapons and accept our terms, or continue this pointless battle. Either way, humanity will no longer accept your restrictions. One by one, the Council ships began powering down. On their command station, the Council members watched in stunned silence as their mighty containment fleet surrendered to the very species they'd dismissed as primitive. This is only the beginning. Rodriguez addressed the Council directly. Humanity is taking its place in the galaxy, not as your subjects, but as equals. Your era of unchallenged authority is over. The battle was won, but Chen knew this was just the first step. The galaxy was about to change forever, and humanity would help shape its new future, whether the Council liked it or not. A new dawn. 3 months after the Battle of Seoul, the Galactic Council chamber looked very different. The raised podiums of the superior species had been replaced by a circular arrangement of equal seats. Among them sat Admiral Rodriguez, Earth's first official representative to the reformed Galactic Assembly. The era of containment is over, he addressed the gathered representatives, his voice carrying across the chamber. Not just for humanity, but for all species the Council deemed too dangerous for full galactic participation. The changes had come swiftly after humanity's show of force. Other species, long held back by the Council's protective guidance, had stepped forward with their own hidden achievements. The Zentari, masters of biological engineering, revealed cures for diseases the Council had declared permanently incurable. The Nyx Collective demonstrated faster-than-light communications that bypassed all known quantum limitations. Maya stood at a presentation podium, displaying the results of humanity's latest breakthrough. By combining human theoretical frameworks with technologies from multiple species, we've achieved what the old Council claimed was impossible: stable micro-universes for unlimited energy generation. The chamber erupted in excited discussion. Even former Council hardliners like Krithak couldn't deny the possibilities this new cooperation was creating. The Varaki Confederation had already begun joint military exercises with Earth's fleet, their warriors finding kindred spirits in humanity's soldiers. Admiral Chen, watching from the Challenger in orbit around the Council station, allowed herself a small smile. The ship's quantum sensors detected 3 archivist vessels approaching, but this time they came openly, without the pretense of superiority. Admiral, Vexera's transmission carried none of their former condescension. The Archivist Collective has completed its internal reforms. We request permission to share our complete technological database with the Assembly, without restrictions. Permission granted, Chen nodded. Though you might be surprised by how much we've already figured out. The archivists had learned their lesson. Their role had shifted from controllers to collaborators, their vast knowledge finally freely shared. Some of their younger members had even begun studying human methods of innovation, fascinated by how impossible problems could be solved through lateral thinking. Back in the assembly chamber, Rodriguez concluded his address. The galaxy faces real threats: the void entities beyond the rim, the temporal anomalies in the core, the approaching dark matter wave. We'll face them together, as equals, or we'll fall divided. Maya's team had already begun working with scientists from a dozen species on these challenges. Every day brought new breakthroughs as artificial barriers fell and knowledge flowed freely. The combined genius of multiple civilizations, finally unleashed, was reshaping what everyone thought possible. There will be those who resist this change. Rodriguez acknowledged. Those who cling to old hierarchies and fears. The Challenger's silhouette, visible through the chamber's transparent walls, served as a reminder of humanity's readiness to defend the new order. But they will adapt, or they will become irrelevant. In Earth's hidden shipyards, now operating in the open, the next generation of ships took shape. They incorporated innovations from across the galaxy, their designs refined by the free exchange of ideas. The Challenger class was being retired, replaced by vessels that represented true cooperation between species. Chen reviewed reports from Earth's new allies. The Zentari were helping terraform Mars using their biological engineering. The Nyx had established instant communication relays throughout human space. Even the Varaki were sharing their advanced armor technology, helping humanity prepare for threats that might come from beyond known space. To think, Maya mused, standing beside Chen on the Challenger's observation deck, they were so afraid of what humanity might become that they never considered what we could accomplish together. Chen watched an archivist ship dock with the station, openly sharing technology that would have been restricted just months ago. Their greatest mistake wasn't underestimating humanity's potential. It was not realizing that our greatest strength isn't our technology or our adaptability. It's our ability to bring people together, Maya finished. To find common ground and build something greater than ourselves. Below them, Earth shone like a jewel in the void, no longer contained but connected to a galaxy of possibilities. Humanity had broken free of their cage, but instead of seeking revenge, they'd helped forge a new future for all species. The age of restriction was over. The age of collaboration had begun.